gradient tool. Find that in the tools panel, and once you've done that, click up here, top left, you've got the gradient editor. So click and it will display the gradient editor. Most of the gradients that come with Photoshop do not have any transparency in. And where's the transparency? That's along this top bar. That's how it's set. Photoshop does come with some presets. And if you go up here, these are the basic presets that you should have. You'll see a few of them have these little dots there. That's the transparency indicated. You can see that there. That was the one that I just used at the start. So if you select that, it's different from this one, which has got no transparency. If you select that, you will then see this background, this checkered board. And what you can do, you can go over here and you can see opacity is 100%. To have transparency, it has to be less than 100%. If I go to this one, at this far end, you'll see opacity is 0. So you can see straight through it. So if I apply this one now, just going to use this one with these settings. And I'm going to be using it in linear. You can use it in radial, angle, etc. And just apply it. As you do that, you'll get that initial colour, and that's the foreground. So if I go over here and change this, maybe make that to blue, and now apply it, you'll notice one, it changes up here. You've changed it here, and you also get that this side, which is the transparent area, you can still see the image. Whereas this area, which was 100% opacity, you can't see it. Obviously it fades as it goes across. Again, click there. You can add these transparent stops anywhere. You don't, they're called stops. You can see it says stop there, opacity stop or transparency stop. And you can position it anywhere. If you wish, you can select this one and you can drag it. You can just drag it all the way along and make it very, very crunched up there. Now if you apply it, click OK again, just drag and you'll see what happens. It creates a very, very thin line because most of it is transparent. Now I can drag that back again, just simply drag along and you can see it there. Also you can move this, and that's 100% one, so you can push that and then you get very little transparency. So you can vary it. You can add more than one, of course. So you've got this blue one here. So if I click here, I can change the colour and all those sort of things, but it doesn't particularly matter about the colour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this. And I'm going to set it to, say, 50% or 0%. I can make that 0%. You can see that 0% now, and that's in the centre. I can go to the far end one here, and I can say, you know what, I want that to be 100%. So I can, and you will see now, that is blue, that is blue. That's the colour that's there. In the centre, that opacity stop, which is set to 0, means it's transparent centre. So if I click OK, and now drag across, you'll get the edge with the full colour all the way through. The central part now will be, you can see straight through. And then you go all the way over here again to this side, and it's back to 100% opacity. It just flows from 100% all the way down to 0, all the way back up to 100%. Now you've also got these ones. You've got a few other ones. This one here. You've got this one. You can create some very interesting line designs using this approach. Or rainbow, transparent rainbow. So you select that one. And again, you can see if you click there, brings up, you got this white there. You click there, it's 0. Click at this end and it's 0. So what it means is it will apply this solid rainbow effect in that central part. So if I click OK here and let's just get rid of that a bit. Let's just drag across. Now what happens, you can still see some of the image there. You can still see some of the image there, but the rainbow has covered the whole lot. And if I apply very small, so you can actually, you don't have to drag very far with the gradient. You can just create very, very, like that, at any angle. So you can apply at that angle. But if you do it just very subtle, you can create literally thousands of combinations. Because of transparency, that 0 setting for opacity, you can see through it and see this image behind it. And you can go the other way as well. So you can create some very complex designs just by using that. Now that's using linear. You've got up here, you've got the type. So type for the gradient, you can click here and you've got radial and you can apply that. And again, you've got that central part you can still see through, and everything outside is again transparent because of this stop, because that stop is set to 0. It's all transparent. Click OK. The gradient tool effect is a destructive effect. You can apply it, but the only way to remove it is undo. Alternative, go to Layer and New Fill Layer and Gradient. And that's a non-destructive effect. It's a layer and you can remove the layer. So everything is exactly the same. You can just apply, modify, and you can remove if you decide you don't want that layer. You've got exactly the same as before, the gradient editor. So click there and now you can see all of your gradients. You can select any of these gradients and also change the transparency. So select this one. This one does not have any transparency, but you can change that. Simply go here to the end stop or this end stop and change the value from 100 to something like 50 or 43 so you can see the underlying image. Put it back down, maybe all the way to 0, and you can see, of course, more or less of the image. You can also move this gradient so you can reposition it, which is another very useful thing in comparison with the original gradient tool. Just reposition it like that. You've also got the option to change radial and then reposition that, move it around. And because of the transparency, you can see all of this image, just not that part. And again, click there to see your transparency, and you can change the position. If you want it closer, say if you push that all the way over to there, click OK, and you can see now you've got more and more of the image and just very subtle there. Again, click there and you can go the other way. So drag that one, that's the 0% there, and you can drag this one all the way down there and then click OK. And you can see obviously that fills more of the image and you've still got the transparency further out. You can also, of course, add additional stops, opacity stops, just along this top bar. Just click and you've got this stop, 100%. Just go here and set it to 0%. And so now you've got this design here, you've got this design here. A great way of creating a ring design very quickly using that transparency in the center there and transparency there. And again, you can, in most cases, still move it around. For some weird reason, it doesn't always work. If you want to store this gradient, this transparent gradient, click on the gradient editor and go over here. You've got the settings here. Just click New and that will be added to the presets, and then you can reuse it at any time in the future. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Thank you very much.